And welcome to yet another awesome session from Mindful Living. We truly appreciate your taking out the time and joining us in the morning today. Your joining the session today is a clear demonstration of your intention to improve the quality of your life. Friends, quality of life is determined by many factors. Which, according to you, is an important factor in determining the quality of life? Please type in the chat the factor you think is important for determining or improving the quality of life. There are no right or wrong answers. There is no one who is judging you basis what you write. Please share with us what you think. Peace of mind. Thank you, Pinaki. Contentment, very important. Thank you. Who else? Only these two factors. Good sleep. Smita, thank you for sharing that. Peace of mind. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Gagan. All of these are important. How is one feeling about oneself? Thank you. My yoga teacher used to say there are two factors which are very important in determining the quality of life. And he used to say that pehla sukh nirogi kaya, puja sukh ghar mein ho maya. What that means is the very foundation of our happiness or our quality of life is good health. And second, it is important to have wealth. These two things together enable us to enjoy our life to the fullest extent. For the purpose of our session today, we are going to focus on the quality of health and how it determines our quality of life. The session today is being organized to celebrate WHO's World Health Day, which fell on 7th of April. However, we dedicated all our sessions in the month of April to improving the quality of our health and hence the quality of our life. Friends, this month is the third year of the imposition of lockdown, which happened for the first time in April 2020. There were many challenges which people faced during the COVID times. Getting infected with COVID, of course, was one of them. Lots of challenges in dealing with the relationships, being locked down at home. But largely that is behind us. But there is one thing that was a challenge then and continues to be a challenge now, which is the back pain, neck pain, joint pains that we have because we continue to work from home. Many of the organizations continue to have a hybrid policy and people work from makeshift offices at their home. And that's it taking a toll on their health. 45% employees report experiencing back pain and joint pain. Different surveys put this number even higher at 50, 60, 70% also. So that's a challenge which we continue to have. And that is the reason we organized the session today with Dr. Gagan Kapoor on how to save your spine. Our health of our spine impacts the neck pain, back pain, and our health and our ability to perform at the workplace. Dr. Gagan is a senior physiotherapist with over 20 years of experience. He is director at Actio Prehab. In his earlier life, he was the physiotherapist for John Abraham's football team and Indian national football team. He's a member of Medical Committee, Football Delhi, and a consultant to Sports Rehab and Sciences Project Football at Udaipur. Currently, he's taking this session from Udaipur, the city of lakes. He especially stepped outside from the meeting that he was into to take this session for us. Dr. Gagan, welcome to the session. We truly appreciate your taking out time from your busy schedule to address our community.
Thank you very much, Ashish sir. It is really an honor to be here, and especially the song that I would like to tell you that the music that you played was very relaxing. Sarvesham Shanti Bhavatu.
Yes,
So
thank
really
you.
very relaxing.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gagan. Friends, many of you are joining our session for the first time. So if you're joining our session for the first time, please type FT in the chat box. Please type FT in the chat box if you're joining our session for the first time. Thank you, Pinaki. So for the benefits of those who are joining our session for the first time, I'll take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Ashish Kumar, and I'm the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living in 2018. Prior to that, I worked in the corporate sector in senior management roles with organizations like Tata AIG, Future Generali, Marsh India, HCL Healthcare, and Healthcare at Home. During the years of my working in the corporate sector, I saw how stressed the employees are and how that stress is taking a toll on their health and happiness. Being a practitioner of mindfulness and being a certified mindfulness teacher myself, I thought the message of living consciously needs to be taken to the corporate sector. And with a mission to impact the lives of 1 million working professionals, we started Mindful Living. Over the last 5 years, we have conducted over 300 sessions for organizations that include Aditya Birla Group, Tata Group, Kotak Life, HDFC Life, IBM, EXL, Schneider, Airbnb, Signify, and many others. The session today is being organized as a part of the Mindful Living Community Initiative, which started in April 2020. Few of my friends reached out to me and asked me to conduct a mindfulness session for them to help them deal with the challenges with the stress and anxiety that the first lockdown was causing. And we got together over a weekend, and I conducted a session on mindfulness for them. One thing led to the other, and today we are a vibrant community of over 3,000 people who connect regularly to practice mindfulness. This is a community which is a very safe place for people to come, learn, and share their experiences about living consciously. In case you would like to be a member of this community, please click on the link that we have shared in the chat and join the community. I would just like to check if Shivani is here in the session. I think she might be busy. So this is a community of working professionals. There is no fees. You can come and join, stay as long as we add value to you. You add value by sharing your experiences. And that is what makes this community a great place to be in. Just few housekeeping rules before I hand over to Dr. Gagan. Please use the reactions button in the Zoom toolbar to raise hand when we open up the when we open up the session for question and answers towards the end of the session around 12:15 or so. We have very limited time for question answers, so please keep your questions crisp and only one question per person. We will also be sharing Dr. Gagan's coordinates towards the end of the session. So please stay tuned till the end of the session, have his coordinates, and in case you have any queries which do not get answered in the session today, you could connect with him over email or the phone number that we will share. So on that note, welcome everybody once again, and Dr. Gagan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ashish sir, for introducing.
Thank you.
It is again an honor to be here among this group, and mindful living has a long way to go, because in the world that we are living today, and as he has mentioned, like, it is the health and wealth both need to go hand in hand. So uh, it is really an honor to be here, and thank you everyone for being here. Today we are going to talk about the ways to prevent spinal pains. I'm sure all of us must have suffered some kind of problems with our neck, our back, or our shoulders because of maybe our work, and this work may or may not be just the office work, but our household works and other things. So we'll talk about the spinal pains today. You can leave your queries when the question and answer session is open, and I'll try to answer most of the queries, but we'll have some limitation today. So as I would like to introduce here what active prehab is. So I have worked most of my last 20 years in the field of sports, being a sports physiotherapist. I've worked with the Indian national football team for about 6-7 years. Then I've worked with other football teams, which includes John Abraham's Northeast United football team also. And somehow over the years, I've realized that the concept of prehab or preventing the problems is very important. And that's how the name active prehab came to my mind. And where active means activity, the activity that we do, and prehab is preventing the problems. It is before the rehab starts. So rehabilitating means preventing problems by the means of activity. So this is what the basis of this organization is. And when we were thinking about it, what we realized is that we need to make some sustainable model so that it is not very expensive. It is not like going for daily physiotherapy and getting physiotherapy done for your problems. So we came out with two main ways of working, which are telehealth and group therapy. So by means of telehealth, we have been helping people since 2020, though the concept we tried a few times since 2017. But since the pandemic happened and everything stopped, there were lockdowns, we were able to cater to our patients, those who were suffering from their aches and pains and other problems by means of telehealth. And now also we are treating patients in India in various states. I am based out of Ghaziabad, but we are dealing with patients who are across the geography of the country and also outside India. And we have been mainly treating patients who are suffering from back pains, neck pains, and sports injuries through this medium. Group therapy is something that is very close to me. Not always you require one-on-one physiotherapy or therapy sessions. So we organize group therapy sessions for similar kind of population or people who are having similar kind of problems, like old age people, like new mothers, or like people who are from corporate and suffering from neck and spine pains. Those can be clubbed together and effectively take benefit of the therapist. I hope I'm quite audible, Ashish sir. Is it fine?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly, Dr. Gagan.
Okay, all right. So coming to the topic of the day. So what is the prevalence of pains among the common population? So most of the studies say that each one of us is going to suffer from neck or back pain at least once in our lifetime. And this is going to require some help, some medical help to sort it out. And as the researchers have shown, this is some data from Indian IT companies. And here you can clearly see that about 65% of the people in the corporate are suffering from neck pains, which is a very big number, maybe 2 out of 3 people suffering from neck pain. And similar number is for the lower back pain. So about 2/3 of subjects who are working in organizations have symptoms of back or neck pain at least. If we look at it on a weekly basis, then about 2/3 would have some pains in their body related to spine, neck being the most common site of the pain. And women, for some reason, have higher prevalence of these pains as compared to men. And younger population suffers more than the middle-aged one. So I would like all of you to mention, if you can mention in the chat box, how many of you have suffered neck and back pain? Can you just mention in the chat box if you have ever suffered an episode of neck or back pain? To back pain, neck stiffness, yes, great, yeah, both. So now people have started relating to neck pain and back pain to cold. Means it happens. It is going to happen to everyone, and it happens very, very commonly. So what are the symptoms? As people have mentioned in the chat group or chat box also, the symptoms of the neck pain could be in the area of the neck, which is around the back of the neck, or this can be traveling towards the shoulder. And if it is more severe than around the shoulder blade, probably some people would have experienced pains not just in the neck region, not just in this region, but down below. I hope you're able to see the pointer. And then if it gets even worse, then it travels down the arm and it can go up to the wrist or hand, and may or may not be accompanied by tingling and pins and needle sensation. So those who have suffered or are suffering from pins and needles and numbness or tingling in their arms or leg, please mention in the chat box. Similarly, it's for the back pain. The pain can be central. It could be towards one of the sides. It could again be traveling down the thigh up to the knee joint or beyond the knee joint up to the foot and ankle, again accompanied with or without tingling and numbness. So here the interesting thing is that the pain which goes down is worse than the pain which stays in the back. If say your pain score is on a scale of 0 to 10, if your pain score in the lower back region is 8 and 0 in the leg, then it is better than having a pain score of 4 out of 10 in the back and 6 out of 10 in the lower in the leg. So yeah, means if we look at this image again, the pain in the back is better than pain going down in the leg, or pain going down below the knee level. Similar is the case with the neck pain. Any pain which is localized to the neck region is better than having pain which is going down in the arm. So why I'm mentioning this, no pain is good, but having a central pain is better than a peripheral pain, because it takes longer and there is more compression on the nerves if the pain is going down on your in your limbs, in your peripheries, and you need to avoid certain things. You need to avoid those activities and posture. You don't want that thing to happen and prevent it from going down in your leg. So what are the risk factors that lead to lower back pain and spinal pains? I'm not covering here the osteoporosis or calcium and such things. Those could be, those are the things which are related to the systems, and if it's not covering those metabolic aspect here, but generally at the workplace or during the work, it is the repetition of the movement. It is the repetition of the same movement again and again which can lead to pain. There is regular activity of the muscles, means they are contracting. There is a contact stress on certain areas, which could be elbow, shoulder, or wrist, which can lead to pain. There are forces which can be acting on the parts, like if someone is working in a bank and has a bank job, and he has to lift those heavy files from time to time, then that force can lead to pain. Static postures are very, very important, because most of the time we are sitting at our workplace, we are sitting in our car, we are sitting in our home, most of the time we are adopting static postures which can give problem or which can lead to pains, and then awkward postures, as you can see in this image. If your desktop or whatever you use most during your working hours is on one of the sides, then it can lead to stress on one side of the body and stretch on the other side, leading to pains. There are other risk factors also which are on the personal side, and those could be the state of general health, like individuals with medical conditions, and maybe the metabolic disorders can also fall into this, like calcium or vitamin D levels. So that can, those are the factors which lead to pain. The smokers and the mental health is kind of a vicious thing. If you have pain, you're not feeling good, your mood is bad, your bad mood leads to a lower threshold of pain, leads to more pain, and more pain leads to even worse mood. And smokers are more prone, it has been seen that smokers uh, are more prone to having spinal pains. Then, other than state of health, what is the fitness level that or the lifestyle that you have adopted? And this has a relationship with the spinal pains. So people who are having poor physical fitness, they suffer more from spinal pains, and the lack of physical activity is also one of the causes for spinal pains. So coming on to the posture, you must have heard a lot of time that if you visit a physiotherapist or your physician for your pain, then say it is postural. And here it is important to have a look at how our spine looks like. So we have some natural curves in our spine, like the cervical or the neck region has one curve with concavity on the back side. The thoracic or the upper back has concavity to the front side. Similarly, the lower back has a concavity towards the back side. So these are normal spinal curves which have evolved over years or during the phase during our evolution, and these provide us the most efficient system to work, considering the different organs that are housed in our body. So these are the normal spinal curves which we should try to maintain while we are doing our jobs and activities. And this is what happens when we are working. Anybody of you would like to confess here that do you work like this? As you can see, there are so many pointers and arrows. Because of poor work postures, there's a lot of stress and strain which is happening on the upper back region, around the head region, on the shoulder, and the lower back. Okay. So these uh, postures, this is the effect of sitting in a wrong posture, which can have on the different parts of the body. So as you can see in this first image, the lady who is slouched down is having more stress on her upper back and probably on the lower back. But if she's standing upright, straight, and taller, then the stresses on the body are less. As I mentioned, that we need to adopt the most efficient posture while we are working or during our day. So what happens if we are sitting in a bad posture? So if we are sitting in a bad posture, then one part of our body is getting stretched and the other part is in its shortened position. So uh, if something is stretched over a period of time, now I would like all of you to keep your finger like this, as shown in the image in front of you. Any of you getting pain while you keep the finger like this? Please mention in the chat box. Hold the finger like this and tell me, do you get any pain? Yeah, that's enough. No, Nilofer, good. No. Yeah. Yeah. Great. So nobody gets pain when you're holding your finger like this. Now, if I ask you to keep your finger like this for another 15 minutes, what would happen? Please type in the chat box. Your finger is normal, and if you hold it for about a minute or 30 seconds, there is no pain. But what happens if you keep your finger like this with the same amount of load for about 15 minutes? What would happen? You'll start feeling the pain. If not while stretching, then while relaxing, definitely you will get pain. But if you keep on stretching it for say 1 hour and 1.5 hours, things will get worse. With the same load in the same position over a period of time, you're going to get problems. And this is what happens. This is what happens if we are sitting like this. And this is what happens if we sit like this for 8 hours. I usually ask my patients, and it is very important for me while I treat my patients, that how many hours do you sit during a day? And generally the answer is it varies from 6 to 8 hours to up to 12 to 14 hours, which is a lot. And then I ask them, how often do you take the break? Generally people say every 3.5 hours. My work is so I can't get up. If any of you also have similar work that you have to sit for longer hours, please mention how many hours do you sit on a stretch. I'd request everybody to please put yourself on mute. So generally what happens with all these postures, there is, we look at the vertebral column. So this white portion is the bone, one over the other. Our vertebral column is a chain of vertebra which are sitting one over the above, and this jelly-like red color material is the intervertebral disc, or disc as we know, whatever our doctor or physiotherapist tells us is the disc, which is the purpose of the disc is to provide shock absorption to the spine, because one bone sitting over the other bone is going to hurt, but there needs to be some shock absorption between the bones for spine to function normally. And then the yellow things which are coming out are our nerves. Nerves are like electric wires. They carry impulses from one part to the other. They carry sensation. They carry the motor or the working part of the electricity. Current flows through them to make our muscles work. So disc usually degenerates. It goes into degeneration as we age, or disc can come out uh, because of any one episode, and can touch the nerves which are coming out from the spine. The symptoms generally relate to how much pressure is there on the nerve, whether it is causing pain or numbness or pain going to the leg, or not able to lift the leg up because of pain, excruciating pain. It all depends upon the level of pressure which falls on the nerves which are coming out. So now, having talked about all these symptoms and tried to give an understanding about how the spine works and why we get these problems, now we should move on to the ways in which we can prevent the spinal pains. So leave your messages in the comment box during these 5 phases, whatever you've experienced and what makes you feel better. So first of all, very important thing is correcting the posture, which is easier said than done, but we need to correct our posture all the time. So now people, those who are sitting idly in the chair, I would request all of you to please don't sit like this, but make yourself more erect and upright. Don't sit like this as in the first image. Please prop yourself up. I'm also propping myself up. We have been sitting for last half an hour now. Just prop myself up, and now look at the strain which was there in your neck region. What has happened to it suddenly? All of you have propped yourself up. All of you have propped yourself up? Good, great. Yes, great. And tell me, did you feel any difference while you were slouched like this as I was doing so? And now sitting upright with my back straight up. Do you feel any difference? Especially in the regions of this part, your neck part, your lower back, your shoulders. As you're sitting more efficiently, it is much better for your muscles. One more thing I would like you guys to correct right now, yeah, is just look at the head of this lady and how she has corrected her head posture. Yes, great. So I would want you to just slightly tuck your chin inside, slightly tuck. Don't force yourself, but just correct your head part also. Let your earlobe fall in line with your shoulder tip. Just a little correction and let me know what happens. Yeah, I hope all of you have corrected your chin. You've just retracted your chin slightly. Okay, maybe you have retracted too much. Just little relax it a little bit. But as you correct your posture, your muscle should relax further. It is not easy to maintain this posture the whole day sitting upright like this because your muscles would get tired. So what should you do? What you should do is probably use a roll, a lumbar roll as a support to support your lower back so that your back is supported and that keeps your posture corrected during the day. Spine, as I said, is a chain. So once you correct one segment of the chain, the other one gets corrected on its own. So you can use a towel roll as shown in this image, or you can use a commercial lumbar roll, which can be placed in the hollow of the back. And here the chair design is also very important. We'll come to that when we go on to the ergonomic side. So chair design is also very important. A chair at 90 degrees is much better than a relaxing chair if you're sitting for long. And I would, whenever we are dealing with people suffering from back pains, I always say avoid low couch and low sofa when you're sitting, because that puts you in a very bad posture, which strains your back and the neck muscles. Okay. Well, we are covering posture. It is very important. If you have anything related, any queries related to sleeping posture, you can ask later. But sleeping posture is very important. Usually, we sleep for about 6 to 8 hours in a day. Okay, and if you are having a problem with the neck, what you can do is that you can use a thin pillow and place a roll inside your pillow cover while you're lying on your back. But when you're turning to your side, when you're turned to one of your sides, then your neck should be adequately supported right from the shoulder to the head part so that you don't have to use your hand during the night supporting yourself, your head. And this helps this helps in reducing the strain over the neck all through the night. Yes, we advocate use of pillow, but a proper pillow. Now, secondly, the first thing is you're correcting your posture, and second thing is that avoid sustained postures means you move often. So what you can do to move often is you can try working in a standing position. And this we have been advocating a lot these days, that find a cupboard or some place where you can place your laptop and then work in the standing position in between. As you can see, the level of the eye of this lady when she is standing up, if the laptop was placed just on the cupboard here, then the level would have been too low and she would have to slouch, she would have to bend her head for a prolonged period of time. But instead, she is using a stack of books here to keep the level of the laptop at her eye level so that she does not have to bend down for a prolonged period of time. So Moving often means you have to find a place where you can stand and work during part of your work hours. And secondly, take breaks in between. Don't sit for too long. Okay. Now we have been sitting already for about 35, 40 minutes. I would ask all of you to please get up and go around your chairs. Okay. Just move around your chairs. Keep your hands on your back and stretch yourself just a little. And come back and sit down again. And let me know what happens when you got up after sitting for about 35 to 40 minutes. How are you feeling now?
Fresh.
Yeah, I think your spine would feel much happy. Yes, your spine needs some stretch, some movement all the time. So you need to get up and get up every 45 minutes to 1 hour. Maybe take a break of 2 to 3 minutes. Just move around in the room where you're working or the cubicle where you're working. Just move around a bit and come back, stretch, come back and sit down. So you need to move very often, and you can stand and work. And then comes the workstation ergonomics. So here, this is a very favorite example of mine, a panwala. I hope nobody visits a panwala very often, but we must, all of us must have seen how a panwala operates. He has all his things, which whatever he is using, just right next to him from one side to the other side. He does not have to stretch every time to take hold of things, because he has to work for prolonged hours. He's not standing, which is not good. He can't stand, but he's keeping everything close to him. And so we need to manage our workstation according to this. As you can see, there is a primary zone which is very close to us. The things that we use most commonly, most often, should be very close to our body. Then there is a secondary zone which is on the outer side, where the things which we use occasionally. And then there is a tertiary zone, the things that we rarely need to be reached. The things which we don't need to reach that often should be kept in the tertiary zone, so that we are not bending or stretching ourselves too much. Same in the workstation economics. The workstation or the unit and your posture that you adopt while sitting is important. So here, as you can see, the eye level is, again, the monitor is at the eye level or maybe slightly lower than the eye level. Then the back is completely supported by the chair, which is very, very important. Maybe you use a lumbar roll or a towel or something to support your back, because an unsupported back cannot stay like that for long. The muscles get fatigued and they start giving pain. Maintain posture of the elbow. Elbow should be at 90 degrees while working, and shoulders should not be hunched up. Shoulders should not be hunched up. And the feet should be supported, which is very, very important. If the feet are not supported, then the strain falls on the lower back and on the neck region. Keep adjusting height of the chair while you're working, and if you're relaxing, you can lower it down, you can relax. But if you're working for long period, then your height should match the height of the monitor that you're working on. As you can see in this image also, there is a Pilates roll under the feet, because the chair is way too high. And to make the levels, this lady is using cushions under her seat, on her seat, and a Pilates roll to support her legs. So it is very important that the height of the chair is managed accordingly and your feet are not hanging in the air. So what are the advantages of ergonomics? To those who are on the administration side, probably this is important for them more than the people who are on on being employee side. Like there are fewer injuries, fewer employee experiencing pain, increased productivity, increased morale, and reduced absenteeism. So all this helps in boosting the morale and confidence of our staff, in keeping them in high spirits so that they can work more efficiently without any pain. So it relieves strain, it improves our posture, improves productivity, increases blood flow to the muscles, increases energy, and reduces our discomfort. And benefits of a healthy workplace, which manages, which keeps our employees healthy, is that it again increases the productivity level, reduces staff turnover, improves company image, reduces absenteeism, and increases employee morale, which is all very important uh, when we deal our human resources. Next, very important thing is the lifting technique. Probably few of you must have realized that you get an episode of pain the next day. If you have worked very hard today, or if you have moved furniture of your house today, then everything was fine, you slept well, but when you woke up in the morning, there was strain in your back. So lifting technique is very important. People who lift objects as part of their work also should be doing it very carefully. And here you need to keep the objects close to your body. You need to bend down, keeping your spine straight, and lift it close to your things, very close to your body, and then stand up straight. Same goes for women or men who are working at home doing household chores. Try to keep your posture as straight as possible while you're using maybe a vacuum cleaner or while you're doing dishes or other stuff. Then last but not the least, probably the most important thing to be having a very healthy spine or preventing your pains is doing physical exercise. Physical exercise is one thing which helps most in reducing your pains, your neck and back pains, as it keeps you fitter. But what kind of activities you should be doing? So these exercises could be general activities like walking, if it does not aggravate your pain in the leg. So as I said before, anything which makes your pain worse, which makes the pain travel down your leg, is not good. So avoid those things. But if you're able to walk without increasing your pain, then it is the best thing you should be doing. Another very commonly used quote in my practice is "Sukh mein sumiran sab kare, dukh mein kare na koi." Means, sorry, I went the wrong way. Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. When we have problem, we always think that we are going to exercise, we are going to do this, we are going to do that. But once that phase is over, we forget everything. But that is the time when we really need to work on our bodies so that we don't get these problems again and again. So walking activity without aggravating pain is important. Then progressive back exercises, which can be helped by a physiotherapist, and getting good progressive exercise that strengthens your back and keeps it more flexible. Then stretching and flexibility exercise for the back, again to keep a healthy, movable, functional back, and the strength of the core muscle should be increased to keep your back happy. I'll quickly go through certain conditions which you need to take care while you have problem, which could be red flags, and you need to see the physician as soon as you see such problems. So if someone is having back pain and he has lost control over the bowel and bladder, then he needs to be seen by a physician or surgeon very soon. If there is incontinence, he can't control his urine, or he passes stools without his knowledge, then that is a serious condition because of much pressure on the cord or on the nerves. If there is saddle anesthesia, saddle area is the one, if you sit on a horse, the area that comes in contact with the saddle is the saddle area. If there is an anesthesia or numbness or complete loss of sensation in that area, then it needs to be seen by a physician or surgeon urgently. If there is gait disturbance, someone is walking but unable to lift the foot up, okay, then means there is a lot of pressure on the nerve, which is compressing the nerve, and it's could be an emergency, so need to be seen. Then no emergency red flags are ages younger than 20 years, but now in our practice, we are seeing very young children also, means 13, 14, 15-year-old children, because they sit too long while studying. There's a lot of pressure or long hours are required while studying. So we are seeing younger age groups also, but if the age is over 55 years or 20 years, then we need to be cautious. If there's a history of violent trauma, in females over the 50 years of age who are postmenopausal, probably there is osteoporosis, and even trivial injuries could be something more than common back pain. There is constant progressive non-mechanical pain. There are fevers. There is a history of cancer or malignancy, infection, neurological problem, or night sweats. So these need to be taken care of. So summing it all up, how you can prevent your spinal pains is improve your posture, avoid sustained postures, means stand and move often, take in-between breaks, use a lumbar roll to improve your posture, use workplace ergonomics, and of course, physical exercises. And of course, physical exercises to keep your back healthy. This is one way in which you can sit actively. You can use a Swiss ball. While you're working, your back will be active. Maybe you can divide your time sitting on a chair and on a Swiss ball. Here, your muscles are active, your posture is maintained, and you're still active while being in a sitting position. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I hand it over to Ashish now.
Thank you, Dr. Gagan, for such a beautiful session. I think you explained so many things so simply, and great audience interaction and participation. Friends, we have been getting your feedback on the chat. I would request you to fill out this feedback form. It will take less than 30 seconds to fill out the feedback form. And once you have filled out the feedback form, please type FD in the chat. Yes, Naga, we will take your question. Give us a minute or so. Please fill out the feedback form and type FD in the chat. And then we will open up the session for Q&A. Those of you who would like to connect with Dr. Gagan, schedule an appointment with him. You could connect with him on email or his clinic's mobile number that we have shared. Dr. Gagan, as I mentioned earlier, is also a member of the Mindful Living community. So he's also there. In case you have joined the community already, you can connect with him there also. So there are multiple ways to connect with Dr. Gagan. We'll wait for another 30 seconds. Or thank you, friends, for your response. We'll wait for another 30 seconds before we open up the session for Q&A. Please take the screenshot. We will be sharing Dr. Gagan's email and mobile number also on the email. So you will get an email also. Not to worry if you have not been able to capture this. Yes, now I'd like to invite Nilofer to ask a question.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. So, Doctor, I wanted to ask you that, even after I've been doing physiotherapy for a while and I have the shooting pain from the lower back to right to my foot, especially in the mornings. So, I wanted to ask you, why does it happen even after, even immediately I get up, I do the physiotherapy exercises. But then when I go to my kitchen and I start working, like even standing for 5 minutes to cut an onion, for example, that shooting pain starts. Or like, for example, if I have traveled from Mumbai to Pune, 4 hours, of course, with a break in between, in the night yesterday when I came back home, that shooting pain was happening. So why does it happen and what should be done about it?
Hello, thanks a lot, Nilofer, for your question. And it is very important. You picked up 2 things here. And though I have tried to cover, but as you are telling your own story, so it is, you can connect or relate more with it. So one very important thing that I would like to mention here is that people who suffer from back pains, first half an hour of the day is very important for them when they come out of the bed. Maybe those who have suffered very severe pain, all of a sudden they must have, maybe in this audience also, people must have suffered very acute pain, and generally it happens during early mornings, during the first half an hour. If it is very acute, your back gets stuck, you are in an awkward posture, you can't correct yourself. Some people can't even stand straight, they just fall down because of their back getting stuck. So first half an hour is very important for those who suffer from back pains or neck pain. You need to take it easy. Let your, what happens is during the night, the muscles, the swelling gets time to set in. We are moving around during the day. So at night, when there is rest, then there is a swelling which gets, or the disc gets swollen, which can lead to sudden pain in the morning. So first half an hour of the day, take it easy. Don't bend too much forward. Avoid things which can increase, aggravate those pains for half an hour. Once your back opens up, then things would be much better. So this is one bit of it, which is more related to the back pain, only localized to the back region. Second thing is the pain going in the leg. So I would suggest, as I have told a bit about ergonomics and the keeping your spine straight. Okay, you can try these things over next few days and leave message in the mindful community only, like how are you feeling, or you can text me on the number which is given. Find ways or positions which stop your pain to go down in your leg. Now you know about the posture. You need to keep yourself upright while you are working. Try to raise the level of the shelf where you work or do some work, and try to keep that straight so that your back is straight. And a small footstool to place one leg in that position so that your back is not strained for 5 or 10 minutes, and then keep changing your legs on that footstool so that it is not constantly strained. You can try these things. And also along with that, as it is most of the time it is a problem solving thing, so you would know better which postures prevent your pain to happen, and then adopt those more often. Secondly, while traveling, try using a lumbar roll so that your back is upright. Again, you're sitting for a long period, same stretch thing. If stretches more, there's pressure on the disc, it leads to pain in the leg.
Thank you.
Dr. Nilofer, did that help you?
Yeah, my question was, yeah, in the morning I do the physiotherapy, and yet, that shooting pain happens. So that was what I wanted to understand.
Fair enough. In case it has not been addressed, Dr. Nilofer, you may connect with Dr. Gagan on WhatsApp. We have shared the numbers. He's also part of the Mindful Living.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nilofer, for asking that question. Naga, you're next.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish. You're really doing wonderful sessions. Just going back to Gagan, Gagan, just, so does STT, severe STT also causes the pain in the neck and back? Because I see the pain is transferring one part of the neck, one part of the back to other part of the back, and it is traveling down sometimes to thighs somewhere. So when I do, for example, so when I see there's a pain, and if I sit in a Malasan posture in yoga, so it is transferring to somewhere. So just, could you just help me why this pain is transferring from one place to another place, and it is disappearing from the initial place where it is when I do those kind of exercise or asanas?
So first thing is like whether your acidity can give you pain in other regions, isn't it? First thing is this, what you've asked. So
does acidity causes the back pain, neck pain, and also the knee, ankles, all these kind of areas?
So the pain in the back or the neck region we are talking about is more mechanical or related to the musculoskeletal system. There could be referred pains which can come from, like gallbladder also can give you pain around the shoulder region on the back. And similarly, acidity can also lead to other pains, but then you need to relate it whether these are related to your physical strains or not. Okay. And don't want people to get mistaken, especially with the pain going in the left arm. Okay. And thinking that it is just a normal, that this is just a normal neck pain, which is leading to pain in the left arm, but this could be a heart condition. So you need to look at what is aggravating the pain and what is relieving the pain. If it is mechanical, then reduction in the mechanical stress should make it better. Okay. And if it is of other origins, then probably those changes in postures won't affect it. And second thing you asked is that like being in one posture gives strain on one side. Then when you change posture, the pain is moved to the other side, which can happen, which looks like mechanical. Okay, which looks more mechanical because as I showed in one of the image, if you are adopting one posture, some muscles are getting stretched, some are getting compressed. And if you change that, it can go vice versa. The one which is shortened may get stretched. Can't hear you, Naga.
Sorry, I'm in mute. So precisely like, so when I'm in, when I did not do anything, I'm having a pain at right side of my back, left side of my back. So that pain continues for hours and hours. But when I purposefully change, so when I sit malasana for 2-3 times, then that pain is, moving from one place to another place.
Yeah, we need to purposefully move, which is what was the one of the tips that I gave, that you need to move yourself, because you can't adopt that posture for a long time. But need to see in detail like what exactly happens. Probably it is some other tightness also along with it, which is getting aggravated when you're shifting to another asana.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Gagan.
Thank you, Naga, for your question. And friends, we have many questions, many more people wanting to ask questions. But as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Gagan has just stepped out of a meeting to address us today. So he needs to get back to that meeting. So I request you to join the Mindful Living community group and ask your questions there. We will take the last question from Shameen, and then we'll bring the session to a close. Over to you, Shameen.
Thanks, Ashish. I think it's also covering Ashish's question generally on the chat, which is just any suggested day-to-day exercises to strengthen the back, shoulder, and I guess interlinked to the core, any suggested exercises that we should be doing on a day-to-day basis?
Sure, Shamim. So the exercises which are most common exercises are, and one word of caution before I tell these exercises again, the same thing which I've been repeating. If these exercises, the repetition of these exercises make your condition worse or makes your pain travel down your limb in your maybe arm or in the leg, then avoid this. Okay, and talk to physiotherapist. But if it is relieving over a period of time, maybe first few repetitions were painful, but then it got better after 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 repetitions, or it got worse, but after that it came down to the same level, then fine, you can continue with those exercises. Okay, but if it is making worse even after doing the exercise, then you need to consult someone. So 2 very important things I would like to tell. One is the chin tucks, like sitting upright and then retracting your chin, not doing this. Okay, not doing this, but retracting means you're correcting your posture and then relax, not poking. Just start position, retract, relax, retract, relax. Okay, a few times. And then other one very important is, as we are sitting most of the time in a C shape, as we've seen in the images, a sitting posture is like this. So we need to stretch yourself up straight. So Bhujangasana or Tadasana. Bhujangasana is the cobra pose, or Tadasana, which is standing upright and stretching yourself up, making your spine straighter, helps most in relieving this. There are other stretches also which can be done for the lower limb. I still maybe I can post a PDF of the same in the group in a day's time.
That would be good. Thanks so much for the session.
Thank you, Dr. Gagan. That will be very useful. Though there are many questions which are there in the group, and we would love to keep you here for much longer. I understand you have constraint of time and you need to get back to your event. So thank you very much, Dr. Gagan, for taking out time and joining the session today, addressing us. For those whose questions have been unanswered, I'm repeating myself, please join Mindful Living community or stay tuned for the email that we will be sending out with the link to the recording and to with the Dr. Gagan's email ID and phone numbers, which you can use to connect with him. Thank you, everyone. everyone for joining the session today. Those of you who are from Pune, we are organizing a physical meet today. So please join us for the physical meet. In case you're interested in joining the physical meet at 3 p.m. on Mangaldas Road, please send me a DM and I'll share the details with you. And our next session on next Saturday at 5 p.m. is about mindfulness, recognizing why mindfulness is our superpower and how to benefit from it. So friends, on that note, thank you very much once again for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. Unmute yourself and make some noise on your way out. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gagan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elvin.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
Thank
always.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.